Good evening, Winter Park, Rollins College, WPRK. This is Creative Control Radio, and we're your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Mecca.
And I'm Monter.
And we are joined today by two very special guests, returners, if you will, entrepreneurs in their own right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm going to give you your fair round of applause here. We have Ayman, Shamaa, and Anna. Your last name?
Martel.
Martel.
Yes.
Glad to have you both back on the show. I'll say back. Anna, you were here in the room last time, but I don't think you were actually on the radio. So welcome to the radio side of things.
Thank you. It's nice to be here again.
How's your Tuesday going?
Busy.
Busy?
Busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just telling Mecca kind of the exact same thing. This has been just a one thing after the other Tuesday here.
Yep.
And then strolling on into the studio to wind down and everything. You're both looking good.
Thanks, man. Likewise. Looking good, too. It's good to be back. I missed a spot. Seriously. And I feel you on that. Today has been crazy. I feel like we've been running around all day. But the vibe in here is very nice. It's very grounding.
Where they say very, very demure? Is that the
Very
thing?
demure.
Yeah.
Very cutesy. Very mindful.
Yeah, mindful. That's what it was. Mindful. So both of you are co-founders of Z Co-Space.
Mm-hmm.
How's that been going? The last time we checked in with you, it was located here in kind of right off of Park Avenue. But since then, it's kind of relocated to the Mills District area.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's really funny because we have so many people from Rollins as well as from the area. So Anna is actually the creator and founder of Zenva.
Yes.
And that was located in Park Ave right off of Morse. And then together we co-founded Z Co-Space and Clubhouse, and that's off of Mills 50 on Virginia, like right across from like 1010 Brewing, kind of right there in that corner. What we did that was really cool is we wanted to create a clubhouse for entrepreneurs, artists, creatives, and professionals. And I think one thing that we saw naturally at Zenva, there was so much of that, especially on like our open mic night and some of the other events that we did, that we wanted to get like an entire building to do that. And what's crazy is we got that building, 18 months ago now?
Wow.
16 months ago.
16 months ago? Mm-hmm. And it's literally blown up.
Lightning quick turnaround.
Yeah. It's crazy. There's like a whole new list of like people now that like come, and it's just so cool to see it, like everybody just clicking and doing projects together. And it's really just truly taking a life of its own that I feel weird even calling it ours. I feel like it's its own entity.
It is. It's magic in there. Like growing it from the beginning and really seeing what it's morphed into.
Yeah.
It's magic. It has an energy of its own. The space, it just draws you in and makes you very open. And the energy is there and it's open. So everybody's connecting and building, and everybody in there is doing such cool stuff. So it's cool to see everybody just support each other, and
it's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's definitely a vibe, and we can attest to that. You mentioned the word different, and I would say one of the biggest differences between your co-space and other co-spaces would be the beverage offerings that you have.
Right.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Go ahead.
No, let's see what you got. Let's see what you got.
Let's hear your spiel. This is fun for me, actually.
I bet it is.
Not the traditional alcoholic beverages.
No, it's not. So we serve kava, and kava is the sister of the pepper plant. And it's been drank ceremonially for 3,000 years in the Polynesian Islands. I actually did not know what it was before I got involved with Zenva 3 years ago, or a little bit longer now. And I remember the first time I saw it, it looked like miso soup. Actually, Anna was drinking it, and I was like, damn, you really like your miso soup. So she's like,
by the bowl load.
Literally, right?
So you drink it out of a bowl.
Uh-huh.
So traditionally it was served in a coconut shell.
Yeah.
So we got really pretty ceramic, like almost like little miso soup cups, but ceramic and pretty. So he literally thought I was drinking miso soup.
She also does this thing whenever she drinks a kava because like you stir it.
Chill.
But like normally you stir it, you stop, and then you drink it. And this one over here like stirs as she drinks. I'm like, damn, you really like miso soup, right?
Chill.
So the whole premise of kava, which is very interesting, there are very few infusions of beverages that will give you the effects that kava does without it being bad for you. So kava itself has something in it called kava receptors, okay? Or kava lactones, right? Kava lactones, excuse me. And that hits your GABA receptors. Your GABA receptors are the same receptors that alcohol hits. So what it does is when it is consumed, it actually will give you the buzz without the booze. And that's kind of like what we call it, but it'll give you a very light buzz. Almost, it's like very tender. It's very soft. It's not like super bold, like I just took a shot of 1942. It's like very relaxing.
I always say that for me personally, it is like having a glass of wine and hitting that sweet spot where everything just kind of melts. It gets you there, but then not any further.
Yeah. So, just question off the top of my head here. If you drink it kind of in excess, can you go further, or does it not work like that?
You can get muddy, which is kind of the term that people call it. So you'll get like very buzzy, but you're almost just keeping the buzz going because it drops off like after like 15 minutes. Yeah. So you're going to keep that buzz going, but you can't get like overly intoxicated on it. You can still drive. You don't lose your motor functions. You're able to talk. Zero hangover. But the crazy part about it is it's all organic and it promotes good sleep. And so like if you do it how you're supposed to do it, it's actually good for you and it puts you in a state of relaxation. So what's really interesting is all of the entrepreneurs and professionals, because I think we've done a really good job of getting a lot of new people to try kava. And all of them are like, dude, this is crazy because I'll like be on edge from coffee or from having a stressful day and I'll have a shell or two and then everything just kind of chills. And I'm like at that frequency, kind of like we are like right now, right? Like after a long day, you just kind of want to like get grounded and it gets you there. And so when people drink that and they're like, wait, what is this? And then at that point, you just know they love it.
That's probably one of the number one things is it's fantastic for anxiety. It's a social lubricant. So once you get, I didn't even realize I had social anxiety until I started drinking kava. Give me a couple shells and I like
loosen up
completely. And I think so many people are carrying so much around that we all need that edge off and to relax. And kava is amazing for that.
Yeah.
So where Anna kind of took it a step further, because I went to other kava bars and it wasn't the same, is you always have like that mud water taste. But like I feel like what's really cool is the mocktails, because we actually created like kava soda. And what's really cool about that is you can actually get mocktails like you would get anywhere. You can get a margarita, pina colada, a paloma, whatever, and it tastes good. But yet there's no alcohol in it. And there's so many times people are like, are you sure there's not alcohol in this? I'm like, yeah. I mean, not that I saw.
Awesome. A little bit of change of pace here. Hunter, the people are dying to know, man.
What's up?
What'd you have for breakfast today? This is our weekly Tuesdays.
I skipped breakfast because I...
No way.
Yeah. It was more like a brunch thing. Just like a bowl. So just edamame, purple cabbage, carrots, chicken, and steak.
So we're moving into what you had for lunch, not breakfast. Is that what this segment is turning into?
Well, it basically was breakfast for me because it was like the first big meal I had that day, I would say.
No miso soup?
No miso soup, unfortunately.
Not yet.
Not yet. Have you had kava before, Hunter?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wasn't a fan of the taste, though, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's normal. Yeah.
Well, I remember it was a lip-numbing experience as well. Yep. It almost feels like you're having an allergic reaction, but of course that's not the case.
I definitely know what you mean. Like you can tell that it's the sister of pepper, like you said. It's very peppery kind of and bitter, I guess. Very interesting taste. Not a fan. Don't like alcohol either. But.
You haven't had their coffee.
I was going to say you have to come to
I'm curious now. Yeah.
We got you.
Yeah. Love Mecca.
What's up, man?
Hey, man. How's your Tuesday going?
Not bad. A little tired.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't the busiest day, but I feel like I messed up my sleep with my little experiment.
Yeah.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Oh, do tell.
Oh, yeah. Please do tell.
Well, I was
there for it. But
I was working on a project, like a music project. So I wanted to stay up for 72 hours straight and make a song each day. And I did it, but ever since, like, my schedule has just been really messed up for sleep. Like, I guess my circadian rhythm or whatever. So last night was a rough one. But I took a nap. So I got a little bit of energy. I'm all right.
You're almost a week out now. You think you'll be getting back in line?
Yeah, I might have to do another one.
To get back in line? What's a couple takeaways you got from the 72-hour staying up?
I think I found I could push myself a little further than I thought I could.
In that regard or just in general?
In that regard, like... from a being tired standpoint, because there were still times on like the third day, like I was making a song and I was still pretty sharp, and a lot of times I won't get good sleep for like one night, and I'll be like, I'll let it weigh on me for the whole day.
Yeah, mentally, right?
Yeah. But I think I learned I don't have to do that.
Yeah.
And then some music stuff, just like looking at things differently. Like that's why I wanted to do it. I wanted to experience like a different headspace that I've never experienced before. And I think I made songs that I never would have made if I wasn't doing the experiment. So it was a success in my book.
Quality stuff.
Dude, when you entered that like place of theta, that's kind of what I was waiting for you to say. When you're like super deliriously tired, it also like ties into fasting. If you ever like fasted for a couple days, the clarity you get from that and the perspective you get, it's like you're almost looking at yourself through a different lens with like zero ego, zero overthinking, and you just see things for like what they are. So I'm proud of you for doing that, man. That is hard.
Yeah, it was tough. But I definitely, 100%, like the clarity, I just felt like for me, I love doing things that are like experimental, explorative. And I mentioned to Eli, it gave me the same feeling as when I drove to LA from here, like just like freedom and just like this energy within me just, I don't know, opened up. And I found a different space. And when I got back from that trip, I made a whole bunch of music and I was super creative. And since this experiment, I've been super creative, so
that's awesome.
I'm just following that.
Very, very
I
cool.
like
Big
it.
fella over here going through many renaissances.
I love it.
Us regular people just living day to day.
If you do 5-10 minutes of breath work in the morning as soon as you wake up, it helps get your sleep pattern back.
Breath work?
Breath work.
As in
Really?
breathing
You can go on
exercises?
YouTube.
Or?
Yep, there's specific breath work. So you can do
Interesting.
like box breathing or different breathings. But if you do that 5-10 minutes every morning, your body will know when it's time to go to sleep.
Yeah.
So if you want to check it out, yeah.
Breath work.
Yep.
I'll try it tomorrow morning. I guarantee it. Before we take a short musical break here, something we ask all of our guests to do is describe themselves in 3 words. Seeing as we have 2 guests, how about Ayman? Can you describe Anna in 3 words? And Anna, can you describe Ayman in 3 words?
Ah, I see what he did there. Creative.
Yes.
Driven. Spiritual.
Spiritual. I like that.
You ready?
Tell me more about breath work.
I got you. Powerful. Adventurous. And driven.
A little collab there with the driven. Breaking yours down first, Ayman. Your 3 words for Anna. Driven. Where's that coming from? Pretending I don't know that she's already driven, but
Definitely think it's from when we first started working together. There are very few people that are visionaries and that can execute. You're usually a visionary or an executioner.
Oof.
And I think she was one of the first people I really saw that was equally gifted in her ability to really creatively and vividly vision something and then also go back and execute on every single one of those steps in order to create that vision in reality. And when working with so many different businesses and entrepreneurs, that's like really, really rare.
Yeah.
So I think truly when I saw that, I was like, damn, that's actually like next level.
Yeah.
And you know what's so funny when he says that is being an entrepreneur and working with yourself, I was like, why does my brain work like this? Like almost like there was something wrong. And then he's like, no, this is amazing. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Last one, you said gentle. Or no, I'm sorry, spiritual. Please explain that one. That's probably the most interesting one I've heard in recent memory.
Yes, please enlighten me.
Oh, man, this one's loaded. She's going to love every bit of this. I think what's really interesting is in the scope of where we are now as a society, we're really starting to take things really seriously when it comes to spirituality and awakening and looking inward and mental health and all of those things that really peer into the human body. And I think it's really interesting. I've seen Anna go through so many different types of growth scales, and I really think one of the ones that I saw you do the most growth was spiritually, especially going to different retreats and looking at something a lot of people don't realize when you're actually trying to become in the most divine version of yourself, there's actually 3 layers to it. So the first layer is very simple. It's your physicality, right? So eating, sleeping, right? Doing things of that nature, working out. Your second layer, it's a little more difficult, is your mentality, right? So what you do mentally, how you challenge yourself, how many books you read, what you're doing, problem solving, et cetera, et cetera. The third one that's the hardest to really break down is your spirituality, right? That's stuff from childhood, right? That's stuff from like relationships. That's the stuff that kind of keeps you down, right? Deep down inside, or makes you wonder you're not good enough. Like that's your spirituality being unhealed. And I thought I had a really good understanding of that stuff. And then when I met her, she really started talking about, right? Like doing things like mushrooms and really like getting into that from a healing perspective, not as like a party perspective, right? And now there's a bunch of studies where there's like quite literally like an entire fund for therapists that are doing this experiment where they're giving very, very specific levels of mushrooms that are actually calculated now to only allow you to quote unquote dive in for X amount of time, right? But what's so funny is she told me about that like literally 4 years ago, and now it's happening. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's crazy. Yeah. And then she went on this trip where, I want to put all your stuff out there.
Oh, you're more than welcome to.
She went on this trip and she did ayahuasca. Ooh. And I'm a Habibi, okay? I'm old-fashioned. I'm traditional. I hear that stuff and I'm just like, nope. Yeah. And I was like, okay, but why? Right? Like, why is that necessary? Like, why can't you go lock yourself in a room or go in your backyard and just sit, meditate, unlock, kind of what I call the power from within, right? Like, why can't you go do that? And she's like, well, there's certain levels within your spirituality that won't allow you to do that, such as your subconscious, such as trauma, such as like whatever that case is. I think it takes a lot of guts to go into something and say, you know what? Show me the darkest, deepest side of my soul. Let me take that, grab it by the horns, deal with it, face on, heal from it, all in the name of coming back stronger, better, faster, but more importantly, the most authentic version of yourself. And I've just seen you recreate yourself and do that over and over and over and over. I always jokingly tell her that she should be a therapist. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on why.
Yeah. Oh. Very spiritual. I love it. Yes. Something I strive to be more of. Anna, you mentioned powerful in describing Ayman here.
Yes. From the minute I met him, he has a powerful energy. It's masculine, but it's masculine grounded. If he puts his mind to something, it's happening. No questions asked. When he makes a decision, that's it. And so many people waver. I think they're so disconnected from themselves that they waver, where Ayman does not waver. And he is so powerful. He's got the juice. People love being around him. His purpose is to help people grow, especially in business, and evolve. And it's super cool to see. I personally have not been around many masculine men that have done work that have the powerful energy quite like Ayman. He's a special guy.
This is recorded, right?
Yes, and we did not pay her to say that either. So.
I'm just going to get loops of it.
That'd be brilliant. We're going to go ahead and take a short musical break here on WPRK 91.5. This is Creative Control Radio. In the spirit of feeling free, this is also a song, Free, by Mecca. We'll be right back here on Creative Control Radio. And we're right back here on WPRK 91.5. This is Creative Control Radio, and we're your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Mecca.
And I'm Hunter.
We're joined by friends of WPRK, friends of Creative Control Radio, pillars of the community, entrepreneurs, co-founders, great people overall, a powerful man, and a spiritual woman. We have Ayman, Shamaa, and Anna Martel here with us today. Thank you both for making time and coming to join us again.
Man, it's our pleasure. Yeah, seriously. Thank you for having us and always making us feel so welcome. I think I'm always honored to come here with you guys.
Oh, man, you flatter us. A segment that we do every week, and you probably are familiar with it. We've been doing it since the last time you came on, too. The best thing that you've seen this week. Now, this can be a video, a movie, TV show, your niece's dance recital, something you've seen live in person or you saw live on TV or recording. Just the best thing you've seen this week. Mecca is really dying to get one off his chest. Go ahead, Mecca.
That's crazy. That's crazy. The best thing I've seen this week, probably Sean. I linked with Sean's a close personal friend of mine. He's another musical artist. And I just hadn't seen him in a while. And every time I see him, it's very grounding. It's very we have great conversation. But we're both similar in that we dive into these projects for, weeks, months at a time. And sometimes we can't just get our schedules together. So we finally were able to connect, and he played me the project that he was working on. I played him the project I was working on. And we just talked about art and music and life for hours. And it was like a great reset, and just it was awesome. It was dope.
Nice. Shouts out to Shawnee, man. Out there changing Mecca's life. We got to have him. I guess he was on fairly recently. Yeah, I feel like I just saw him, but that's because we just posted the clips of him and everything. Cool. I'm glad to hear that he's doing well. Freaky Phil.
I'm honestly still thinking.
We better hurry up.
I can.
Oh, actually, no. I saw my parents this past weekend.
That always works.
Yeah, it's been a while. Just making time for them to see them is hard.
Special occasion or
no?
Just
the one to see us. We wanted to see them. Get some home cooked food, which is always nice. Yeah, I would say that's the best thing for sure.
Fair enough.
Going on a trip with them soon, actually, in the next few months, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
Where?
Japan, actually. Yeah.
Oh. My bloodline.
Yeah, that is your bloodline.
Hunter Sama. Yeah. The best thing I've seen this week, man, I feel like I always do this. I feel like I've seen something or done something, but I can't recall it. So I'm going to say 24, the TV show. I'm rewatching that right now. Have you watched 24? Anybody familiar with it?
Mm-mm.
I haven't, but I've heard really good things.
Yeah. It's actually the season 1, episode 1 came out in 2001. I think the whole series went through 2010. But it is timeless in the sense that if you watch it right now, outside of obviously certain things look older, like the cell phones and maybe the most modern car in 2001 obviously is not the same as 2024. But it lasts. You can see the filming, the angles, everything. It almost seems like a modern day TV show. And the main character is a very, very interesting, almost anti-hero, but he is the protagonist, if that's what you want to call him. But I love watching it. He's like a real life Batman, except without a lot of the mystery.
It's so funny when you said 24. I thought that's got to be a man show.
It pretty much is counterterrorism.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
I compare it to 300.
Yeah.
The numbers, that's this man stuff.
Well, it's 24, as in 24 hours in a day, and each season is 24 episodes in each season, and each episode is 1 hour of the day, and all the events happen in real time. It's pretty interesting.
Cool.
I'm shocked that no other series, at least I know of, has not copied that model before. It really works, and it's kind of attention grabbing. It literally progresses before your eyes, and they don't show you outside of commercial breaks. They don't show you anything off screen, really. That you see everything right there.
Interesting, yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah, I gotta check that out.
Yeah, not a bad watch. Jack Bauer.
My highlight
Let's go.
was dinner last night. Shout out to Mohammed, the owner at Meza in Baldwin Park. Had dinner, amazing conversation, and he completely treated us like family. It was one of the best meals I've had in so long in the company, and it was just a great night.
Meza, what kind of cuisine did they have?
Mediterranean.
Oh, great.
Oh, it is 10 out of 10.
Yeah. You do Mediterranean right, you'll have a big base.
Next level.
Yeah.
No, next level.
It was amazing. And it's fun. It's been so busy over the last few months that it was so nice just to like sit and ground and turn off and not be in it.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Making me hungry.
Muhammad, yes.
I'm not going to lie. That's kind of crazy. I was about to literally talk about that.
Get out of my brain.
We do that a lot.
Get out of my brain.
All right. Well, I'm going to tag team then and say probably the most amazing thing that I have seen has been a group of women that have come together to really work in such a magnificent way. There is such a big team that's behind anything that's extremely impressive, and I got to give a huge shout out to all of the women, especially Brandy, the owner of Winter Park City Magazine. Man, they have done such a wonderful job of like really helping out our community, and they're not doing it for notoriety. They're not doing it for money. They're literally doing it because they wanted to create a better community for all of us that live in like Baldwin and Winter Park, and it was so cool to see. And everything they're doing and all of the things that are happening behind closed doors for charity, for businesses, especially small businesses, like it's been magnificent to watch. And they're working really hard on a very, very big event that's going to be taking place this Thursday. This event literally has 250 guests that RSVP'd in under 13 days.
Wow.
And it just was so cool to see the pool of people we all could pull. We all like dared each other to see if we could make the biggest impact from this event. And I think our waiting list now is like somewhere around like 170 something.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that crazy? I'm like, dude, where all these people come from in Winter Park? I was like, that's crazy. So before coming on the show, I had actually reached out to her and I said, hey, which by the way, you guys are coming, so do not make plans for Thursday night.
Absolutely.
You know, I was thinking, how do we get on that guest or the wait list? But that's even better right there.
You're already on the list. I already put you guys on the list. That's it. You're in. You're in.
Awesome.
But what's really cool is I asked her, I said, hey, there's a few other people I really want to join, and I know a lot of your listeners, and I know a lot of people that are in Winter Park are you know, just amazing people who have done so much for the community. With that being said, talked to her before he came on. We're opening up 50 additional spots for all of your listeners.
Oh, wow.
Or any of your friends or any of your family, specifically to you guys. That's a big thank you for having us here. So I'll send you the link. You can post that wherever you want.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
It is going to be a night to remember, for sure.
Yeah.
It's the party of the year.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
Yep.
We'll definitely be there, and we'll be there with a group.
All right, let's get it.
And it was a style edition or issue as well. So dress to impress. It's at Portia. It's gonna be a fun night.
I do something with this hair, man.
Uh-oh.
I got something to look good for now.
I wonder if Mecca's going to come into a suit that's like soaked again.
Oh man. Soaked.
Yeah.
One suit a month. That's it.
Dry that puppy off. Yeah, interesting. So we can talk a little bit about y'all's kind of business or socially. Can you give us a little bit of the roots? So Ayman, we know that you have your own kind of consulting business as well. Can you tell us a little bit about that? I know we talked about it before, but for new listeners, and it was a while ago, how did you come into that line of work, and how's it going?
Yeah, man. So I started a consulting firm back in 2017 after leaving my corporate job. I was really big in finance. I worked for Charles Schwab, and then before that, I was in finance and a few other metrics. The coolest part about it and why I started is because I was so passionate about helping entrepreneurs that didn't have the means to go and hire a big firm. So it was almost like a passion project in the beginning. And then I realized, well, you can kind of make some money from this. So, you know, let's see what we can do. And my book of business has always just been really tried and true in the sense that every time I've worked with someone, I've just naturally been an extension of their team. Got to a point where it was way too much for me to handle. I brought in a team. I started building it out. And I will definitely say if it wasn't for that leap of faith and doing all that, I don't know if any of everything that we have now would ever come to fruition, which is really mental to think about. And it's just so cool, man. You just come across the most amazing people and their stories and what they sacrifice to create a business. Like, nobody really understands your average brick and mortar, how much that owner sacrifices in order to have that brick and mortar.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's crazy, man. And they have like zero support system. So like all of the businesses I feel like I've created or we've created has always been with one thing in mind, and it's like supporting like artists and creatives and entrepreneurs so that they have like a launch pad in order to go do what they want to do, right? And I think what's really cool now is it's been a vision of mine for some time to launch a PE company. So we did the consulting thing. We were able to help a lot of people. We've done Z Co-Space and Clubhouse. We're planning on opening several more locations. And now we're like, okay, well, how do we really like take this up a notch? So yeah, from last time we talked, we have launched a private equity company, and our tagline is we are where ownership meets finance, and we're going to be basically funding as many projects as we can for local businesses in Florida, businesses that we just think that we can grow. And we're doing everything from blue-collar businesses to white-collar businesses to brick and mortars. Like, we truly don't care to make money. We just want to make an impact with entrepreneurs, and we want to take everything we've built and just create an ecosystem that's just truly supporting, entrepreneurs. So that's been a crazy undertaking, to say the least. We've been pretty quiet about it. I think this is the first time I've actually admitted to that publicly.
Yeah, I'm sitting here listening, and I'm like, wow, I should have done my research. I had no idea. But no, that makes more sense, yeah.
Yeah, it's called Elevate Growth Capital. You can check it out at elevategrowthcapital.com. Me and a few of my business partners came together. We were all kind of juggernauts in our own industries, and we all came together to kind of create something truly special for entrepreneurs. Yeah. So I'm very excited about that. And then,
congratulations.
So much going on.
Big time.
Thanks, man. Thank you, brother.
Absolutely. You mentioned a few, you and your business partners. Talk about the importance, or maybe not importance, of collaboration. Even with you all, you didn't come into this world, you didn't come up with these ideas side by side, but eventually you kind of found each other. Can you talk about y'all's collaboration and then collaboration in general, or vice versa?
Yes, I would love to. So opening Zenva was the first brick and mortar I've ever done. I've been an entrepreneur for years and owned different businesses. And I was on an island by myself trying to figure everything out. And bringing Ayman in was just having support. And it's interesting because where we all have our gifts, and the great thing about building a great team is knowing what your strengths are and your weaknesses are, and then finding people to work with and to collab with that end where you began and vice versa. And that between us across the board is my strengths are his weaknesses and vice versa. And that's where the magic happens of having a team of people that are good at different things. Then you can literally take over the world because you've got everything covered.
Yeah.
Henry Ford said it best. Someone asked him, you guys probably heard this before, someone asked him, like, how have you created such an amazing assembly line for something that's never done? You must be a genius. He said, I'm nowhere near a genius, but I just hired the right people who are way smarter than me. And you know what? That motto is beyond timeless because just like Anna just said, we all have our gifts, but nobody is a gift of everything.
Right.
And kind of going back to what we said earlier in the show, it's really being self-aware enough to say, hey, this is my lane and what I'm really good at. Let me go find other people that are at the lane to the left and to the right of me and are equally as good as what they do. And if you're lucky enough to find a group of those people, well, then you probably go on and do some pretty memorable things that outlive, our age and end up leaving a legacy for people you really care about. And I think that naturally happens if that ideology is in the forefront of your mind.
Yeah. Wow. Powerful stuff. A phrase and almost triggers anger in me when I hear people say that, I did all this by myself and I don't owe anybody anything. I can't fathom that anybody has accomplished anything noteworthy completely by themselves. Whether or not your partner or your parent or your anything is out in the sun with you, out in the open. That's one thing. But to say that you, from from an early age is bootstrapped and did your own thing, and nobody ever cut you a break or threw you a bone or helped you out, that is just ludicrous from me. I'll tell a short story. I actually commented, and I'll leave his. I'll tell you off air. I'll leave the guy's name out of it. But I commented on a very popular and very famous, well-known content creators, sports content creator, his page one time because, like I just said, he made a post and immense wealth, immense what's the word? Success he's had thus far. So I'm not knocking that at all. But his post said that, I got here all by myself. I did everything. I don't owe anybody anything, not even a thank you. And I just commented, I said, I don't know, owing nobody anything, something along those lines, like just to like, I don't know, or I think something like, I don't know if anyone's ever accomplished anything by themselves ever in the history of man. And I just left it at that.
Correct.
And the next thing I know, I go back the next day and he blocked me. So
that's when you know what you said had impact.
Yeah. I'm even just thinking as a mom of like the sacrifices I make for my girls regularly. Yeah. So he could have even had a terrible childhood, but still there were supportive people along the way.
Correct.
It's constant sacrifice for the people we love.
And even for your example, and I'm sure it's not the case with your daughters, all the sacrifices, let's say that they turned a blind eye to it or don't know about it, that still doesn't mean that you didn't sacrifice. That still doesn't mean that they needed you to essentially get to where
and
they're going.
And then they sacrifice me when we've got stuff going on at Z, and it's what you do.
Correct.
So,
correct.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's all about the tribe.
Going back to your point, though, you're so right, and kind of what you just touched on. I think one of my pet peeves around that is self-made.
Yeah.
I hear that all the time, and somehow in our society that like became cool to say you were self-made.
Weird flex, yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you are not self-made. I'm like, do you have a mentor? Yeah, cool. You're not self-made. Do you have a father and a mother? Yeah, cool. You're not self-made. No. Like, where did this become acceptable?
I don't know.
I think it just makes them feel good. Just the ego getting stroked. They're just stroking their own ego.
It's just so unrealistic, and it just speaks to either arrogance or just an out of touchness with reality. It's
insecurity.
Insecurity.
Big time. Unhealed. Yeah. Just labeled unhealed, all caps.
Go heal your spirituality.
Yeah. Let's go on a retreat.
Spiritual Anna. Oh, man. We're excited about y'all's podcast coming up. I'm going to speak it into existence right now.
Oh.
Oh, man.
I'll send you an invite.
Declined.
Put it on his calendar. He'll be there.
The private equity firm that you started, is that fulfilling like a different thing for you, like as a person? Is that fulfilling like a different thing that like your other businesses didn't fulfill?
Now that's the Mecca I know.
There you go.
That's the Mecca I know. Absolutely. Let's say as an example, you and I are right on the show, right, and we're going to affect as many people as we can that are in our reach. Mm-hmm. What of all the people that aren't in our reach, like literally in the reach of these radio waves? Influence works very much like that. You're on your own frequency of your own radio wave. You're going to affect the most people you can that are in the nearest proximity of you. Mm. When you build something that starts to take a life of its own, you start to impact people that are far out of your radio waves. And so if we claim to be as passionate as we are about entrepreneurship, then we should do everything in our power to do something for entrepreneurs. And I think that's one thing that has separated us from so many people as a whole is like, a lot of the money we make, we always reinvest it in like another business in another way that just helps people. And it's because there's just no amount of money that will ever give you that feeling of like true empowerment and just seeing someone succeed in something that you may have helped them and you don't even need anybody to know you helped them. Mm. That's that juice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Next level. Living in your purpose.
Yeah.
And I want to say too, when like so many people start a business and then they get stuck when they've outgrown it. And we have to learn to, watching Ayman, it's been really great watching him of, okay, this has been wonderful. and gave me all the feelings, but really learning of, okay, it's time for the next thing. And I find so many people just get stuck and find themselves unhappy. But when you do stuff, not having an attachment to the outcome of it and just really enjoying the ride. And when you do, like, you just end up in places you never thought you would. And things keep growing and changing and expanding and evolving. Like you said, you have to be adaptable. But
it's also the rule of involvement. Like, if you created a business and you're going to stay in that business, what about all the people underneath you, all that talent that you've curated? They also want your job, right? Like, your manager wants to be a district manager wants to be a regional manager. So it's like when you go to move on to another business, of course it's still your business, you're there, but you're giving the space to people to move onward and upward. And I think that, for one, is why you go and do other things, so that truly everybody that's like with you is also moving up. Yeah. Right? And then projects just start to compound. Like, now we have like a project for a food hall that we're building in Maitland. There's another project with like a very popular, individual in town. And it's just like, there's so many things now that are coming to us that it's almost one of those things where, I don't know, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool.
I'm noticing a pattern, and maybe it's not completely uncommon amongst intelligent entrepreneurs, of recognizing a demand, and the demand being there before you even essentially create the supply. And similar to what you were saying with your individual endeavor when you left Charles Schwab, you recognized that there was a demand for people who could use your services but couldn't, afford the ticket. And then the same thing here with the entrepreneurs that you all are looking to support. A lot of entrepreneurs out there who can't quite get the ball rolling or can't evolve like we're talking about right now, just because they need that help, that extra thing.
Being an entrepreneur can be really lonely.
Yeah.
And that is what Z is a place where you can go and really get loved on and supported. And getting advice, almost like being in a room full of mentors, of people that genuinely care.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why Z Co-Space and why Zimba? I don't know if we've ever talked about the actual name.
You want to talk about spirituality? When I was naming Zenva, I couldn't come up with a name.
Sure.
So I set an intention, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and Zenva came to me.
Zenva.
So I was like, okay, I'll go back to sleep. And it was like, no, you're writing it down. And the name Zenva was born. And then with Zico, we wanted to pay homage to Zemba. So we kept the Z, the Zenva Z, and then Co-Space and Clubhouse.
Yeah. And Zenva came from like Zen and Kava, right?
Kind of like, yes. So Zen and Kava. I was just playing around.
It came to you in a dream.
It did. It did.
And last question, kind of business-oriented before we take another musical break. Why Kava? A lot of people go the different beverage route. Alcohol is immensely popular. Why Kava specifically?
So I stopped drinking 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago now. All of my unhealed stuff throughout my life caught up to me. So I decided to stop, take a break, really start on the spiritual healing journey. And I took a few years off from drinking. But I did absolutely miss going out and having a place to go, and just relaxing a little bit. So I'm not a coffee shop kind of girl. It's fine for a quick coffee with a girlfriend, but you don't want to go hang out there. You want to get dressed up. And I was out and about all the time. I'm super social. So I missed like the atmosphere of being at a bar and having connection with people. And a friend took me to a kava bar. There were only 2 in town at the time. And they definitely were not upscale. So I had a hard time even getting friends to go with me. They're like, absolutely. What do you want me to drink? And then I'm not going in there. So the idea was for a different demographic per the kava bar scene at the time to offer an alternative, a healthy alternative to alcohol. Because when I found kava, I had no idea kava existed. And it was one of those things was like, how have I gone 36 years and not known about this? This would have been amazing in my younger years of just wanting to relax and taking the edge off.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
If we would have knew about this in college.
How amazing is that? Yeah. Alcohol poisons. I drink now some. Yeah. But it is
Poison, literally.
It literally is a poison. You're not clear. The mental clarity you said you gain, like, I'm so used to being so clear all the time that when I drink even a glass or two of wine, like the next day I feel a little fuzzy. So it's an amazing alternative, but still getting the relaxation because we all need that.
Yeah.
For sure.
The energy is also different to it, I think, is what the appeal of that was. Because if you ever if you ever go to like a bar, right, like you can kind of feel the energy is like dense. And like, right? And
it's heavy.
Yes.
It is. It's heavy and a little bit dark.
Right? And like we all drink, but you're not going to drink every single night. So it's kind of cool. I feel like in Z Space specifically, like the energy is so like creative and fresh and inspiring, and like you just feel something in the air that is really indescribable. And I do think if we had the exact same concept and we did not serve kava and we served other stuff, I don't think it would be the same at all.
I completely agree. I'm same with Zemva too. The energy is light. People would walk in and just it feels light and airy.
Yeah, it's pleasant. I managed, as you know, nightclubs and bars for about 3 years downtown Orlando, and I mean, first of all, I'm not saying everyone's like this, but people who go to the bar to drink on any given night or anything, you know, you're looking for certain things, even if it's not a person. You're looking for a relief or something different, and that's why you're throwing back shots and drinking so heavily. When you pull up to a place like Z Co-Space and you're drinking kava and kratom, am I making that up?
Yeah,
kratom's there.
Yep.
Okay,
that's it.
Yep.
And hookah.
Yep.
Most people know us for hookah. Like, they'll look us up and they'll be like, "Wait a minute, there's a hookah bar here."
You can work and smoke hookah.
Yeah, that's brilliant. I don't know a lot of places like that, honestly. It's just very much a different feel. You go to a place like Z Co-Space to more mingle and socialize, but in a cleaner, safer, kind of more productive, healthier way. Like,
That's the cool
I can't
thing.
really
You
put my
remember
finger
all
on
the
it.
conversations. Everybody's really connected, and everybody's vibration is high because drinking alcohol kills your vibration. Where the vibration in Z is high at all times.
All right, you know what I just remembered? I just have to say this real quick. Do you remember when we went out with Elijah? And I was like, bro, I really want a hookah. And this man said, stand by. And you went back there and literally came out with a hookah. And I literally was like, did that just really happen? Dude, that was low-key one of the most impressive things I've ever seen. This man just said, hang on, I'll be right back.
So funny. I saw the picture of that night today on my phone.
Really?
No way.
I was scrolling to look for a picture to show somebody of a dress, and I laughed.
No, that's spiritual.
It was September 22nd, 2022.
Wow. That's wild.
Wow. We're almost on that anniversary right here, 5 days away.
Ooh,
That's
see?
crazy.
That is weird.
You got a hookah over there?
But I saw it and laughed out loud at that entire night.
Yeah.
That's great.
Awesome. We're going to go ahead and take a short musical break here. This is going to be Elysis?
I don't know how to say it.
You don't know this song that you wanted me to play?
I like the song. I don't know how to pronounce the title.
By MKG. We're going to be right back here with our guests on WPRK 91.5 Creative Control Radio. And we're right back here on WPRK 91.5. This is Creative Control Radio, and we're your hosts. I'm Elijah.
I'm Mecca.
And I'm Hunter.
And we are joined by the always impressive and incomparably talented entrepreneurs, but kind-spirited guest hosts overall. Ayman, Shamaa, Anna, Martel, thank you both for joining the show. And the crowd goes crazy. This next segment is Happening Hypotheticals with Hunter.
Yep.
We still don't have your jingle, so we're going to give you your little... There it is. That's the jingle.
It's different every time. It's just, yeah.
Hunter's going to take us through some hypotheticals. We ask that you just answer however you like.
All right. So, if you could pick any business to be the founder of, what would you pick and why?
Like any existing business already?
Yeah.
I'll take this first.
It has to be an existing one.
Yes. Danny Morel, Awaken. He's in the spiritual healing realm. He does podcasts as well as 3-day live events for teaching people how to drop in without plant meds. So there's a lot of breath work, meditation, etc. And this man is single-handedly in his purpose and changing the world by helping people heal and awaken.
Yeah.
Sounds cool.
Dude, that is a really good question. That's a hard question, too. I don't even know where to start with that, to be honest.
Yeah.
I probably would say as a passion project, I would definitely love to be the CEO of Ducati.
Yeah?
And I literally say that in like a funny perspective because I've noticed there's like such a big trend of like so many people like going and doing retreats like that where they're just like having fun with a bunch of people. And there's not that many spots in America that have them. So I think I would totally go and create that. You know, just fun retreats, tracks everywhere.
That is that I told you that I felt from you is doing something cool like that, but with men, like really creating some really different, cool retreats.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like going 180 miles per hour with your boys.
You know, just want to feel alive.
Sounds like an experience for sure.
Yeah.
This is a little bit different one. In financial gain aside, I would say like NASA. Mm-hmm. If I could be like the founder of NASA, that would be pretty cool. Obviously, I want to explore a little bit into space, but I always found that world fascinating. Overall, just transporting people literally to the moon. I thought that was brilliant, and obviously it's done a lot. But NASA, I pick NASA and everything surrounding NASA.
What about your first radio show from the moon?
Ooh, now
First
you're
podcast
talking.
from space,
Right?
This guy.
No, that's
huge. Ideas coming. Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I got to go with True Leave dispensaries.
Fair enough.
No,
The authenticity behind that.
maybe like I know we do our podcast, but the Joe Rogan Experience. It's because he talks to so many like experts, and he can just pick the brains of the top of the top in any field in the world, pretty much. And like I listen to it sometimes while driving. It's just like I love listening to someone who really knows what they're talking about, and like is also really passionate about what they're talking about. And it's like I don't know, it's amazing. I just love it. So yeah,
Pretty encompassing. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not Joe, man.
you're better. You're better.
I felt that.
Freaky.
Good variety of answers. I think I do Spotify.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's pretty
I already
cool.
think they do
I was
it.
going to say Apple. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
Overall
Apple's cool because I guess they have a lot more like.
variety,
Yeah,
different
but-
brands and whatnot.
I think Spotify already does a good job at giving back to artists and helping them just by giving them tools like the Canvas thing where you can do like the video instead of just the album cover.
Mm-hmm.
But just trying to make it even more like just giving back more to artists because they are the ones that are kind of supplying the audience in a way.
Quite literally, Spotify probably wouldn't exist with no artists.
Did you see the documentary?
Oh, no, I haven't actually.
It's on Netflix. It's great.
I'm
Next
going to
level.
have to give it a watch.
The founders of Spotify?
Mhm.
Wow.
The whole
You got it.
story.
On Netflix.
Yeah,
Netflix.
it's
I
so
might watch
good.
that tonight.
Yeah.
So good.
It's great.
All right, we can move on to the next one here. You can telepathically say one thing into the minds of everybody in the world. What would you say? And I just want to say a few more things as well. You don't have to worry about like language barrier or anything. It'll be translated, and you have 1 minute to say whatever you want to say. And you could also just play audio if you don't want to talk, like maybe a speech or something, like a snippet.
You said you can telepathically speak to anyone in the world?
Like everybody all at once.
At the same time.
Yeah.
Oh, damn. You're
Like
talking
Professor
about
X or
God level.
something.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Ooh, now you're right up my spirituality.
That's actually huge.
Yeah. Send everything into a frenzy. Just tell everyone this is a simulation.
Yeah, this is fake.
Your whole life is not real. You can say, and what's the parameters around that?
You have like a minute long to say.
Oh, oof. Yeah, I'd have to really sit down and plot something out. But I don't know, off the top of your head, what would you say, Ayman?
Dude, that's powerful.
Yeah, that's almost too powerful.
Honestly, I would definitely tell everybody whatever you're teetering on doing deep down inside that you know you can do, stop what you're doing today and go start that today. I think most people need to hear that. Everybody instinctually knows what they want, but their brain and heart keeps them from doing it sometimes, or in fear of what society would say. And if everybody listened to that voice, none of the brands you guys all just mentioned would ever be alive or a household name.
Yeah.
So get up and do it.
Just do it.
Mine would be that you can completely change your life And any feeling or desire that you have, people always feel like their desires are too big. And so they get stuck living small, that life will get messy as hell, and you will be on your knees, and you can have a new version of yourself born regularly by getting in there and being willing to face yourself. And once you do, then your higher self, those feelings, your intuition, will guide you to a more beautiful life than you ever can imagine.
How much kava do I have to drink for that?
I think this is past kava. It's Daya.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
Yeah. Wow. Mine would have to be a spiel on how if we all donated a certain amount of money, we could likely globally impact hunger, food. It would be something themed along the lines of fixing a worldwide problem by being able to communicate effectively for 1 minute to everyone in the world at the same time. I would try to eliminate something that's plaguing the planet.
I like that.
Yeah. I'm thinking food insecurity off the top of my head, but I would try to fix one big problem by talking to everybody at the same time for a minute.
I like that.
That would be the gist of it, at least.
I would say something like zoom out and embrace the flow. Like everything travels in like a wave. There's ups and downs. And just kind of getting stuck on like a low point or something will just make it harder for you to get back up to the high points. And there's like a level of acceptance to where you can just accept what's happening and figure out how to move forward from here, how to continue the flow. So something like that.
Oh,
Man, this man's got some wise words,
does.
right?
Oh, yeah.
he's super smart.
I miss that wisdom. I really do, man. You always drop some stuff like straight from the heart, and I think that's like one of the coolest attributes that you have, and it's like you can feel it.
Thank you.
I spent so much time thinking about the questions, I didn't think how I'd answer them. I guess I would say that we're all in this together and don't stop creating. I think, yeah. Just keep it short. If I had more time, maybe I'd like to spend a minute and make a minute-long speech, but it's hard to answer.
Kind of feeding off Chu's point, and you're saying the same thing a little bit. A message of you're not alone, and there's don't stop. I feel like maybe even suicide prevention for a minute, talking to everybody, that would probably impact a lot of lives.
Yeah.
Huh. Nice. Entrepreneurs with good hearts.
It's true.
Should we do one more? Or?
We got time for one more.
What about the one that we always ask? If you could go back to your younger...
Oh, yeah. Wait. Is that the one with the Google search?
No.
Just
if you can go back to your younger self, what would you tell yourself and why? Like a few words.
Oh, yeah.
One sentence?
So it's 2024 right now. If you can go back to 2010, 14 years ago, what would you tell? But you only have one sentence to speak to yourself. And keep in mind that how receptive yourself would have been to criticism or whatever you were going to say to yourself 14 years ago. So, for example, I'm 27 now. 14 years ago, 13-year-old me, I probably couldn't tell myself much. I would compute and listen and move on. So I'd have to say a very tailored message to myself to shift my act. You know what I mean? You just have to think of in context of yourself 14 years ago. How would you receive what you're going to say to yourself now?
I probably wouldn't listen to it.
I know, right? Keeping it honest.
No, seriously, I probably wouldn't. I'd be like, that's definitely not real. But I would tell myself 100%, trust what you know what you feel. And I think at that time, I would know what that means. And that means that if I trust myself for what's to come, I'll be exactly where I need to be.
Okay.
Bars, yeah.
I leave that to you.
2010 is when My oldest was adopted. So I was a full adult.
Awkward.
I would say your world and life as you know it is going to crumble so you can build and be exactly who you came this lifetime to be.
Do you think that would make the crumbling part better if you knew that it was coming?
It would have.
Yeah.
I got divorced 3 years later, and it was just literally my entire world of everything that I knew, that I thought, crumbled.
Yeah.
And I was on an island by myself trying to navigate and figure it all out. So a little warning would have been nice, even though my intuition, I knew something was coming. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But then you wouldn't have become tiny but mighty.
Tiny but mighty.
And then for the, I forgot what it's called. Is it the Oedipus? The story of when he was doomed to kill his father and marry his mother. The action of you telling yourself that it's going to crumble, then enacts it not crumbling, and then you're always looking for the rest of your life.
You're like holding your breath, holding.
Just kidding, of course.
Talk about the anxiety from that. Taking up so much of your space.
Wait, is this it? Is this it?
Oh,
This has to be it.
this
Yeah.
car's coming fast. Oh.
Yeah. Hunter, what would you tell yourself?
Practice guitar.
Keeping it simple here. Don't date that girl. Nice.
Yeah, probably that.
Yeah. Practice guitar. Awesome.
12-year-old me. Oof. I'd probably say it's okay to care what people think, but it's not okay to let that stop you from doing what you feel is the right thing to do. Like when you're 12 years old, you're gonna care like what people say is gonna affect you. It's gonna like I don't think any 12-year-old is that healed to where nothing affects them. But just knowing that it's okay to hear that outside, that external stuff, but at the end of the day, tap in like with yourself and like what you feel is right.
Oof. Yeah. More gems from Mecca. We got to have a jingle for Mecca gems.
Don't stop believing.
Well, every time he says something. There we go.
Just think I'm joking.
Yeah. Awesome. It is about that time. We get into shout-outs, wrapping up the show. We'll shout you all out first. Thank you both for coming on the show. Tremendously impactful, tremendously insightful, intelligent, educated people who are actually out there doing the right thing just for the right thing's sake. So we appreciate you two coming on the show, but more importantly, we appreciate you two existing in the realm that you exist in. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Really,
thank you for giving us the space to come in and blabber a little bit. And, more importantly, it's great to see you both and get to have some fun with you guys.
For sure.
Man, yeah, nice. Who we shouting out today, big fella?
Shout out to my mother, of course.
Yeah.
Who would ever forget to shout my mom out? That'd be crazy.
Right.
Shout out to Ayman and Anna for coming on. Really appreciate it. Shout out to V and Matt. Couldn't be here today, but excited to see them next time.
Feel better, Matt.
And shout out to everyone who listens week after week. Really appreciate y'all. Whether we're on the radio or doing our podcast, we definitely really appreciate you guys. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned indeed.
Shout out my friends and family and you both for coming on as well, and Matt and V. That's really it.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
That's more than you usually shout out.
He mostly covered it, so.
Yeah, that was like 6. Anna?
Shout out to my girls, Liv and Violet, and then, of course, to you guys for having this space and having us today.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. Ayman.
Shout out to all the people behind the scenes that do all the work that allow us to be here, as well as to make amazing things happen. And that's from all of the people that will always allow us to say that we're never self-made, right? From our parents to our family to our friends. to everybody involved. Also, big shout out to you two big dogs for creating this amazing space to bring incredible people on. You know, it's such an incredible and humble privilege to see the two of you grow and to see what you guys have accomplished from the short span of a few years that, you know, we've got to see you guys and what you're doing. There's one thing in common with every single person that's a household name and it's successful, and it's their consistent tenacity. And I don't think there is a better term that I could use to describe both of you, both in your respective careers, your passion projects, and you guys being here today. So thank you for creating something as special as this to share with us in your beautiful space. We appreciate it more than you guys know.
So much.
Oh, man. Thank you. About to invoke tears back here. Side of the camera. Can't cry on camera. Shouts out to the Alpha and, of course, WPRK and Rollins College for letting us host the radio here. Shouts out to Creative Control and the full team, Hunter, V, Matt, and Freaky Phil, Hunter's alter ego. Shouts out to Z Co-Space, of course, and everybody working there to make that place everything it is and it can be. Avery, shouts out to Avery for just being a pro.
Hey.
And shouts out to my mom and, of course, Junie. We appreciate everyone who listens week in, week out. We got a lot of exciting things coming up, including an event coming up at Z Co-Space. And then, of course, we're still partnering with Meet Botanical Gardens and Full Sail to bring about the concert series and everything. We appreciate you all. Before we go, Ayman and Anna, where can we find all of your social media?
Ooh. So my social media is XO Anna Martel, although I've taken about a year break on social. So I'm not very active, but XO Anna Martel.
XO Anna Martel.
Soon to change.
I know.
And Z Co-Space, where can we find that?
Z Co-Space Clubhouse, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn.
Awesome.
Guys, feel free to check us out. My handle on Instagram is Egyptian Made. And feel free, if you are an entrepreneur or a business looking for help, looking for investment, or looking for your next investment opportunity as a VC, please check us out at elevategrowthcapital.com, where we elevate and evolve.
A walking billboard. That's what we call that. Awesome. We're going to take you all out like we usually do. Mecca's favorite song by his favorite artist, A Little Sweet Love by Anita Baker. We'll see you all here next week on WPRK 91.5 Creative Control out.